Welcome to the Reimagine podcast. Each week, give yourself 30 minutes and meet the people working hard to create the future of insurance today.
Hi, this is Paul Tyler, and welcome to a special episode of the Reimagine podcast. Hey, Laura, normally we talk about where we are. I guess today we're going to talk about where we were last week. And where were we, and what did we do?
We were in the lovely city of Las Vegas. We gathered with 8,000 plus of our friends, and we attended ITC, so InsurTech Connect, and it's definitely the place to be. It was great to see the energy come back in, see as many friends as we could that we hadn't actually been in person with in over 3 years. So it was a nice combination of a few days down in Las Vegas, meeting new friends, connecting with companies, sharing stories, and we got to sit down with over 20 people to hear from them.
Yeah, it was great. We shared the booth with Metro Hartford Alliance's Connecticut Insurance and Financial Services Group. It was great. And had interviews, and we've actually got a couple of other voices, guest voices on this podcast, right? So Susan Winkler and Michelle Cody, who runs Launch Hartford. What do you net out from what we're about to run?
Yeah, for me, it was great to hear from the over 20 individuals who sat down with us to see what was coming next for them. So we hear a lot of stories about how businesses have grown, especially in the last few years, but also what surprised them at ITC, whether it was content they learned, people they met, or things they're going to take away and implement.
Yeah, I think community stood out for me. Yes, there were 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 people, depending on how you counted, but it certainly felt like it was a coming home party for a lot of the people we've gotten to know over the years. So I don't know. With that, should we just roll the recording?
Let's let it roll.
Okay, thanks. Hi, who are you, and what do you do?
Yeah, my name is Ryan Allan. I'm the Chief Technology Officer and Head of Product for COVR. I've been with COVR going on 6 years and have been responsible for building a lot of the technology that we have in the industry today and what our partners and institutions use. So it's been a very fun and exciting ride, and many waves and iterations already within 6 years. We move fast.
Yeah, well, listen, we really like COVR because I'll have to tell you, full disclosure, your offices, your headquarters are right in the boat building.
It is.
Yeah, and you guys have just been growing by leaps and bounds in that 6 years. And I think probably 4 or 5 of them in Hartford?
Yeah, we've been there going on almost 5 years now, and it's actually been extremely beneficial being there because of the InsurTech scene and carriers. That advisory kind of atmosphere that we get from Hartford has been extremely beneficial. And in the last year, hiring a very talented advisor, product person, into the technology organization has allowed us to re-platform our advisor technology to a new level that probably most can't meet in the industry right now. So
it's amazing. Your growth is really remarkable. You guys have just brought on more investment capital. You're expanding your sales base as well. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we closed our Series B. It was a very successful round, enabled us to re-platform stuff, higher growth positions that has been panning out, as you kind of alluded to. So we have, like I told you before, we've re-platformed our advisor technology, we've re-platformed our consumer technology. Now we're at the point where we're kind of integrating it and innovating, where advisor and consumer technology comes together, where an advisor can kind of send consumers a consumer view of the advisor business, and they can transact on their own as we kind of get into more of that embedded in, meeting where a consumer actually is with that process.
Now, would you say that's the biggest opportunity for COVR in the next 6 months?
There's a big emphasis on meeting where a consumer is and kind of embedding that technology where it is, whether it be an FA or the consumer of that FA. We're trying to meet them where they are and make it easy and simplify insurance for them, really. So we have a feature coming out, as I said, that is actually going to be on the desktops of advisors to push this to their consumer, and it's branded as them. It's branded as their institution, so they have that brand affinity with them. And it allows us to bring, very rich products like the digital carriers like Bestow, Haven, et cetera, into that kind of FI market, which is becoming more and more relevant for them. So,
yeah, what are you hoping to get out of the next couple of days here?
So the next couple of days is just, learning all the innovation going on. What can we do to benefit the industry? What can we learn from the industry? And then, kind of continue to innovate with. I mean, there's a lot of things that I wasn't sure if I, talks yesterday, and it's actually really reassuring to see a lot of what we're doing is already being talked about. And now we're already looking at steps ahead of what, kind of pushes that. And there's a lot of things that I got out from those talks of like, okay, how can we, even better engaging with the consumer where they're at. I mean, there's a lot of areas where I picked up nuggets of, information where we haven't quite tapped that yet, or that hasn't been solved yet, and we kind of got to go after those and still, attack those.
All right. Well, listen, have a great conference, and hey, look forward to watching your company grow over the next year again.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ryan.
So who are you and what do you do?
My name is John Wilson. I am the academic director of the MS in FinTech program at the University of Connecticut, where I'm also a faculty member in our MS BAPM program.
And what brings you here? I haven't seen a lot of universities show up to this conference.
So since we designed this Master's of Science program in FinTech and InsurTech, one of the things we want to make sure that we do is engage with industry. It's really the purpose of the program is to develop talent for industry. But beyond that, this is where we can go and make sure that we are seeing the innovation and seeing the trends that are going on, and then bring those into our curriculum on an ongoing basis.
Now, how new is this program?
This program launched about 2 months ago, in person in both Stanford and Hartford. We also just announced the launch of a 12-hour executive education program. And later today, we hope to officially announce the launch of an online Master's of Science program in FinTech starting 1 year from now, as well as an online executive education program starting 1 year from now.
Well, speaking of learning, what have you learned here so far?
I've learned that whenever you think you've seen everything, you can come here and you'll see an application of technology or an application of insurance that you never would have considered before.
If you were going to dream 2 years down the line for the program, what do you think it'll grow into?
My goal is very simple. It's to be the best MS FinTech program in the world. There's very few of them so far. We feel like we're a front runner in that respect. But I want people, when they think about education, higher education in the FinTech and InsurTech space, the University of Connecticut is top of mind.
All right, and if I'm listening and I want to enroll in the program, how do I learn more about it?
Yeah, you can go to our website, just Google MS FinTech UConn, and it has the information on both the master's program as well as the executive education program. And as I mentioned, we stand ready to go with our online program and all the information on curriculum, people you would need to contact, criteria for enrollment, they're all right there on the website.
Great. Hey, listen, thanks for stopping by the booth.
You're welcome.
Who are you and what do you do?
Hey, hi Paul, thanks for having me. My name is Rohit Puranik. I lead the insurance business for North America for Tech Mahindra. Glad to be here.
And new role for you.
Yeah.
Rohit, we knew you in another role. Tell us, what are your goals at Mohindra?
Yeah, I think I spent 23 years in Infosys. This is my third month at Tech Mahindra. I see that transformation and technology in insurance is phenomenal, and you can see at the event with so many new technology firms every day, new solutions, helping carriers to sell and service their customers in a very unique way. So that's impressive. My goal, essentially is to bring more efficiency to my clients and carriers and the insurance community in general with our own internal capabilities at Tech Mahindra, and also partnering with some insurtechs that can help us bring those services to our clients.
What is the most interesting thing that you've learned here so far?
Outside talking to Paul and learning a lot from him, let me think. The pitch yesterday that State Farm organized was pretty unique. I believe there is good capabilities. I just think once these things starts materializing and becoming a reality at scale, somebody like Elon Musk will come and take everything and make it more of a very scalable model globally. So.
Excellent. All right. What do you hope? I got a better question here. You got a better final question.
Mine are more fun, actually, than Paul's questions. What's one thing that you want to do while in Vegas?
Networking is important, and I think there's a lot of learning opportunities. When you bet in Vegas, you can bet on insurance and how it's going to go. So that's something interesting I want to do. But yeah, I mean, and there is tons of stuff.
I want to go pet the rescue puppies.
I do too.
Booth.
Yeah.
That's my goal. All right, Rohit, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Thank you for having, and thank you, Laura.
Who are you, and what do you do?
Well, thank you for having me. Kartik Sakthivel, Vice President and Global Chief Information Officer for LIMRA Loma.
And tell us, what is LIMRA Loma?
LIMRA and Loma is the world's largest and oldest nonprofit trade association by the industry for the industry. We have 1,400 members in about 70 countries across the world. Most life insurance carriers in North America are members of LIMRA and Loma. LIMRA's focus traditionally has been everything, quote, front of the house, right? So marketing, distribution. We have a slew of training programs for agents and advisors, all the way from the hire cycle to the retire cycle, as well as leadership development. LIMRA is the research and benchmarking arm of the industry, as we have been for the past 170 years. And Loma is effectively a university in life insurance. You can come in, get your ALMI, you can matriculate all the way to your FLMI, which is the most coveted designation in the entire industry. And between LIMRA and Loma, we run 124 committees and study groups, thought leadership, right, and the ability to bring the industry together, whether it be events and conferences or whether it is through a myriad of our thought leadership forums. I think that's where the industry comes together to mutualize the problem solving that every single carrier has today.
I like that. Mutualize the solution. That's a powerful word. What brings you here?
Yeah, so I've been coming to ITC for a while. I've been with LIMRA for 5 years, LIMRA and Loma for 5 years, and before that I was with Liberty Mutual for about 10 years, right? So you guys will recall a time 5-8 years ago when the insurtech scene, followed by the, right on the heels of the FinTech scene, just exploded, right? And at that point in time, it was always this, well, what are these insurtech carriers doing, companies doing, right? Are these startups going to disrupt us? Are they going to disintermediate us? And I think I've watched that evolution, and it's been pretty remarkable to see where now insurtech companies, fintech companies are an intricate part of the entire ecosystem, right? So, carriers and the insurtech scene working together. So I've been coming to insurtech to see how that evolution has progressed. The other thing I will add is when I was at Liberty, my last role at Liberty, I was in PNC, right? So InsurTech Connect, ITC, several years ago had been predominantly all about property and casualty, and then a small sliver of every other function of insurance, right? So I've seen that evolution where the life track, it's been remarkable, here over the past 2 days, watching the life and annuities track continue to grow and the amount of attention that it's receiving. And I fundamentally believe, I think the rubric is what property and casualty is about 3 to 5 years behind retail banking in all things digitization, and life insurance is about 3 to 5 years behind property and casualty. So that's anything we can do as the association to bring these worlds together to make sure that we are the neutral ground where innovation happens. I think it's absolutely critical for us to be able to do so.
Well, excellent. And I know it's early in the conference, but what's the most interesting thing you've learned or seen here?
What was really cool, being in the middle of the entire industry as we are with the association, right? We have the privilege of knowing everybody, right? Because everybody cross paths, whether at a conference or a committee or a study group. And the past 2.5 years, we've been deprived of that human connection, right? Just with you folks, the last time I saw you guys in person was not last night when we were walking around, but it was 2019.
I know, can you imagine?
And time flies just like this. And what's interesting is to be able to see folks in person, right? The contacts that we've made over the past 2.5-3 years. I have a task force with McKinsey and Company that I've been running on all things emerging technologies, working with 50, 100 industry leaders all through North America. But meeting them here for the first time in person everybody's the same size on a Zoom screen, right? So live and in living color. I think that's been awesome. That's been awesome. It's like old friends meeting, right? There's none of the pleasantries, right? And you just pick up where you left off on Zoom calls, but that's just indescribable. The second thing I would add is I think I've just been really, really happy to see the amount of focus that the live track is getting. I think it's warranted, and if there's anything we can do from a LIMRA and LOMA perspective to take that and amplify it next year, I think that's important. And my concern, our focus is to educate the industry, right? To successfully onboard the industry, regardless of the role that you're serving in, and to make sure that this industry continues to be a vibrant one in all of its evolution over the next 200 years, right? So, and the future is digital, the future is here, the future was yesterday, right? So if there's anything we can do to continue promoting that, I think it's our responsibility to do so.
Yeah, that's great. Well, listen, we love all the work you're doing on LinkedIn, your stories, you're telling places you've been taking us. So, Kartik, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Who are you, and what company do you represent?
Hello, I'm Meitav Harpaz. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pattern Insurance. We're basically an embedded insurance platform that allows businesses to create their own amazing insurance experience and deploy it into their customer journey.
And why are you here today?
Well, ITC is such a great event. This is my second year. I started Pattern 3 years ago, and just being around the innovation around here, seeing what the industry is doing, both incumbents as well as startups, finding partnerships, investors, of course, insurers, carriers, and reinsurers is what we're here for.
Where did you travel in from?
I traveled in from Northern California. Palo Alto is where we're based.
Yeah. How did you find your way into the insurance business?
It's an interesting question. So I actually started on the back end of insurance, kind of the plumbing, if you will, of insurance companies, and helping them digitize and modernize their processes in the back end. And I've been doing that for about 15 to 20 years. I think I've done a reasonable job at it, and insurers and carriers certainly made a lot of progress in bettering their operations and being smarter in their back-end systems. And what is still missing for me is kind of that level of innovation and sophistication on the front end and on the distribution, claim management, policy lifecycle side. And this is how I basically started Pattern, looking to make a difference and enhance the capabilities of the insurance industry in that side.
And if people want to learn more, where can they find more information?
Just go to www.patterninsurance.com and look us up, and feel free to reach out to me at Meitav@patterninsurance.com.
Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And who are you, and what do you do?
Hi, so I'm Manjit. What do? I do innovation consulting. So basically I get paid for dreaming up crazy ideas for next generation products for insurance companies, and I do venture building and startups, and we're just about to launch a new dating platform for connecting insurtechs with insurers, investors, and advisors.
This is great, and we met. Wow, it seems like in some ways it feels like yesterday. In some ways it feels like a long time ago. Launching, all the accelerators in Hartford.
Right.
So, fast forward to your project. I think you're almost kind of making connections at scale with this platform you're building. Is that a good way to think of it?
Well, to be fair, so during COVID, I sold my last consultancy business, and then ended up having to start another one because my clients were coming back asking me to do the same thing again. And I thought this kind of doesn't make sense. We need to disrupt the model. And it was perfect because during COVID, I didn't have to have a whole team of people in an office. So we put together a team based out across India, South Africa, the UK, and we built a platform to basically disrupt my consultancy business, my new one and my old one. So why not?
Yeah, right, why not? What brought you to ITC specifically?
So I've been here since day dot, the very first one. It's a great way for me to catch up with a whole lot of people from around the world that I know, get to see what's going on, what's new. But basically, it's more for really connecting. And also, we kind of wanted to use the opportunity to effectively launch the platform as well.
Yeah, well, that's my next question. Are you demoing your platform?
Yeah.
Here? Okay.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So I am demoing it,
yeah.
but I haven't actually built
the
demo. Well, the platform's live. I haven't worked out my script yet.
Oh, minor details.
But hey, we have 3.5 hours.
3.5, easy.
So we've talked about the platform, but I don't think you've said the name of the platform.
Oh, it's called InsurTech Scout.
And if people want to learn more about InsurTech Scout, how would they do that?
You can go to the website. It's just insurtechscout.io. And you'll be able to get there. And you can actually go in and see if you're already on the platform as well. So in case one of your colleagues is registered, you just type in the company name, type in your email address, and we'll let you know. We're preloading about 2,500 InsurTechs into the platform, but you kind of have to claim your profile before you get to start to see all of the functionality.
So what's like the coolest... What's one of the coolest ones you've got loaded in right now? Can you tell us what the
InsurTechs?
Yeah.
They're all cool.
Yeah.
Do you know an InsurTech that isn't cool?
Pick one. Yeah.
ClearSpeed.
So what do they do?
So they have technology where you can ask 3 questions, just yes or no answers, and with 97% accuracy, they can tell you if the person's telling the truth or lying.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, I want that with my kids. I want that with my kids.
The really cool bit is they're ex-special forces people.
Really?
So yeah, absolutely.
That's
You
fascinating.
know that's going to be interesting technology in the background.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Hey, thanks so much.
Absolute pleasure.
We'll try
Good
to make
seeing
it your try to make it to your rollout there.
That'd be great. There'll be at least 2 people in the audience.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Who are you? Hello. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Bobbie Shrivastav. I'm a co-founder CEO of Benekiva. And Benekiva is a low-code, no-code platform meant to build for the claims experience for the life annuity and health.
And you've been also very active in the Hartford community, which is
We
great.
love Hartford.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
I was just explaining to this gentleman behind me who was born and raised in Hartford, and he was like, what's going on? What is CTIFS? And I didn't do a good job explaining, but what I shared with him is when we launched our company in 2018, one of the ecosystems that we were invited to was Hartford. And what we quickly learned is it was very cool to be in a place where, as a startup, we're getting exposure to the carrier side of the house as well as startup side of the house. So not only could we figure out how to do business with the carrier community, now we can also build that partnership and collaboration. And that nice facilitation of carrier startup and this activity really was what impressed us with Hartford. So back in 2019, anytime Hartford, through NASA, through InsurTech Hartford, through Susan's through CTIFS, anytime they had those events, we would make sure that we would attend. And what was great is because how you guys collaborated, we weren't week 1 in one event and week 2 another event. You guys have this really nice partnership where everything's happening and you guys organize it in such a way that makes it easier for a startup to invest their time and money instead of figuring out choices of events and then not doing one versus the other.
So what brings you down to ITC?
So this is our 4th year with ITC. So we did ITCs back in 2018 and we started off with a startup booth, 2019 same, and then in 2021 we decided to really level up, and and this year we leveled up in a different way. So we did our first claims summit at ITC yesterday from 1 to 5. We had over 250 people come to our event, and that gave us confirmation that claims is an important topic. The industry wants to hear what other carriers and what's the thought leadership, what are organizations doing on the why there's a need, how do you live in this hybrid technology state, and then how do you actually get there? How do you actually start that transformation journey? Because when you look at the transformation journey, claims is a small piece of it. You're not transforming just claims, you're transforming your entire enterprise. Claims has a piece of it, and we wanted to make sure that we drill down to the claims side. And we were very excited about our event. We have a booth, we have a Top Golf event that's coming tonight, so pretty nice presence here.
Oh, you're on fire. You are on fire. This is great to see. Maybe talk to us a little bit about all the other interesting things you personally been doing. One is fitness. Boy, you kept us motivated on Twitter.
And let's talk about TikTok too while he's at it.
I found you on TikTok finally.
I love the content that you guys are producing. About the last one I saw was the weight one, and the blueberry and the weights, and I was like, Paul, and the sled pushes too.
Don't tell compliance. Compliance can't find me here. This is our secret.
No, I think what's fun about those avenues, right? Is like the fitness side, right? It was Nigel, who was the brainchild of the fitness Twitter. It was like Nigel and 4 others, and I was included. And we now have a built-in group with 50 plus active participants that are always posting their workouts, their pictures, their Barry boot camp, their 10K, 5K races, their goals. And it really is a motivating factor because we're all in insurance or in FinTech. So when you see people that are like you in your same industry, they have the same challenges as you, so you can't make any excuses not to do that. So it creates that accountability. So when you see Twitter and you're seeing workout pictures, it's like, okay, I gotta do a workout, or else I'm gonna disappoint them, right? And the TikTok side really is more of a creative expression, right? I think people, if it's fun. Right? And if you look at it as you're having fun doing it and you're giving content that you just want to share and not go overly thinking about, do I look professional? Is this what is, it's just you're portraying yourself, your individual self. I think that's, it's kind of cool. Like yesterday we went to Aerosmith and I did a TikTok on and tagged a few people. I mean, it's just another mechanism of expression.
I love it. The more that you can infuse personality and being a whole person in insurance, the better, right?
Yeah.
So, what are your goals for the rest of the event? I'm assuming it's spread the word, talk to more carriers that might be interested in actually paying claims on time and having a good experience.
And the beautiful part is, Paul, I think that's where we're finding, back in 2018, 2019, everybody talks about it, right? Like customer experience, customer journey, transformation. But because of COVID, and we talked about this last year too, but really it's accelerated. And it wasn't just COVID, right? It's your talent pool. It's the emergence of Gen Zs in the workplace. It's all of these converging forces, right? And what we're finding is the industry has to take an action and they have to start. So now what we're finding is the carriers willing to talk about, hey, let's do an assessment because we're going to do a business model analysis anyways. Instead of doing it twice, let's invite you, InsurTech, come in, and that could be a feeder into our business case model because you're going to do that anyways, but instead of doing it in your solo lens, now you're inviting an external viewpoint which will give you better data.
What's next for Benekiva?
So we've been life annuity health side of the house. So this year we experimented with the group side. So we launched a group offering with the XL on group claims TPA. We also worked on the retention model, which is I call it like Brent's baby, but how do you take a claim and take it, I call it the circle of life. Like how can you take a claim and give that opportunity to retain and create a new customer? So we did that with conjunction of MRS, which is an automated underwriting decisioning engine. And then I'm very happy to share that in October, November, we're gonna have first look into a PNC use case. So the whole idea is, and I had an insurance executive in May said, this will never happen. And the minute somebody tells me this can never happen, guess what I'm in the mission to do? Prove them it could happen. So he said, you'll never be a claim solution that serves all product lines. It just has never happened. There's too many barriers. So if we can prove out this P&C use case, like start small, like this is catastrophe claims, and if we can automate those in a reasonable fashion, I'm on a mission of saying you can have one claims platform. That's our vision.
And if people want to learn more about what you're doing, how can they find you?
So active on LinkedIn, Bobbie Shrivastav, same with the two other founders, Brent Williams, Sovan Shrivastav, and our website, Benekiva.com.
Excellent.
Go get them.
Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely, thank you.
So, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ed Falcigno. I work at AXXL on their innovation and business architecture team.
Great. So, hi, I'm Susan, and good to see you again.
Good to see you.
What does that mean? Like, better yet, what are you looking for? What's like the next best thing in InsurTech that you're looking for?
Yeah, so I guess the innovation function at AXXL has really been designed around trying to future-proof the organization for what's to come next, and we're working both internally on projects to try and drive business efficiency, but also try and put interesting solutions in front of our customers that can help solve their problems. So something that I've spent about 2.5 years on is scaling something called the ecosystem, and the bread and butter of that is really this technology library of partnerships that we've gone out to the market, found what we believe to be the best risk mitigation, risk prevention, and business efficiency startups that can really help our customers solve a lot of the challenges that they're seeing. And it's different from a marketplace or just a website that lists a variety of different companies, because we're really performing deep due diligence to figure out like what are the best companies for telematics or what are the best companies for worker wearables. So yeah, I guess really today I'm looking to speak with a lot of those types of companies, learn as much as I can, and talk to people like you guys, have interesting conversations.
Sounds like you do your work. You do your homework.
Yeah, no, I mean, like we try to, right?
But let me ask you, what about the customer? Are they ready for all of that due diligence that you're doing? Are they driving it? Who's driving it? Who's driving this?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, it really depends on the customer. So we really focus on like large commercial P&C operations, and our target customer is always like Fortune 2000 and above. We really don't play in the middle market, like SME space. So there are some customers that are super willing to work and work with us, collaborate, develop new solutions with them. There's others that are really closed off and don't want anything to do with it. And we're at an inflection point right now where we're trying to figure out, should the insurer be subsidizing or paying for these solutions, these risk mitigation solutions, right, to help mitigate or lower losses, or does that sit on the customer? Is it a joint effort? And we're trying to develop a couple different business models that I think some customers would find. But yeah, again, like what we've found the most success with, at least with our customers, is startups and risk mitigation companies that can quantify their value or quantify the benefit that they can have. So for instance, a worker wearables company, if we have a worker wearables company that we partner with and they can quantify the benefit that they could have on a workers' comp policy, that is something that a customer would be interested in. Document automation or something that is just a nice to have, we're not seeing nearly as much traction in that space. So yeah.
So have you like come across anything? I know the conference is early. Have you come across any like killer category, killer function that you said, wow?
Well, you guys are like the third booth that I hit, so not yet. But something that I'm really excited about is like, and this is more of a, I guess, just an approach versus a trend, but something that I'm really focused on or really excited about is like parametric solutions. And I think that's going to begin to bleed into other categories beyond just like agriculture and property. I really think that there's a lot of really interesting companies that are doing things in the third-party service downtime or the cyberspace, and I think that parametric solutions can really complement existing insurance policies with large customers. So I'm really excited for that space right now. No specific company, but yeah.
So if I'm one of these companies and I'm saying, oh my gosh, that's me, you're talking about me, how can I effectively get in front of you to have that initial conversation?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. We take referrals from our existing customers very seriously. So if we have a customer that is using a telematics solution and thinks the world of them and thinks that we should be speaking with them, we'll almost absolutely take that meeting. I think, honestly, all of us are really open, at least on my team, to open conversations. I can't guarantee that it's going to be a fit, but just like simple outreach is like the first step, and doing your homework. I don't think anything bothers me more than when a startup or a company reaches out to me and requests a meeting that is focused on something that we don't even service, right? Like, I get a lot of people reaching out that's focused on personal lines. We don't do personal lines. I'm probably not going to benefit from a conversation, and it's probably going to be a waste of both of our time. So I guess just do your homework and I guess approach us with like a very concentrated meeting so that we're not wasting each other's time.
Awesome. All right. Hey, listen, thanks for coming by, and you have to report back what you find in maybe booth number 5.
Yeah, I'll be back in a few, I guess, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one last question. Now, don't we have the killer booth here? I mean, you said I would say yes, right?
I would say so. I mean, I walked up and I saw the first half and I was like, wow, this is huge. And then Susan was like, nope, that's us as well. So you guys like have half the room here. No, this is a really good group, and I'm glad that you guys are here.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
Well, hi, my name's Tom Wamberg. I'm the executive chairman, co-founder of Healthome Incorporated. That's with OME, not Healthome, Healthome Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Darren Rowe. I'm the chief executive officer at Healthome. OME, as Tom said.
Yeah, well, Tom, it's great to have you back. I tell you, you won so many fans in Hartford when you talked about epigenetics, genomics. Feels like yesterday, but that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, right?
It was a couple years ago in November, yes.
Yeah. So catch us up. What have you learned since then? And what is this, why should I be interested in the products and services your company's offering?
Well, thanks for asking. It's nice to be back. We've been busy. The genomics world's been racing ahead. The price to sequence a human genome is going down and down and down, and as it goes down, the clinical utility goes up. But at the same time, our health insurance system doesn't really price for a lot of preventative medicine, and because of that, it's very difficult for people to get access. So there's this big gap between what's we call the lab and at the bedside, and it's typically 17 years for advanced technology to work its way through that gauntlet. But the life insurance industry is in a perfect spot because we can help accelerate it, because if we can get the technology to be used quicker and faster, we can bring the price down and we can democratize the cost through life insurance policies or critical illness policies. So Darren and I have built a new company to do just that, and we're off to a really fast start with 2 major carriers that have already signed on to start offering our services. And our motto is we're going to be the first insurance product to really save a life. It's not just a cash payment. We see it, we've seen it in our past company. We save lives when people use our services. So we're excited about that.
And what brought you down to ITC?
Darren is getting used to the insurance industry. He's a cancer specialist and from the UK. And this meeting is obviously the meeting. So we've been having a ball here, and it's just almost mind-warping, all the technology that's come forth.
And Darren, what I know we're sort of early in the conference, but what are your reactions? This is a huge event.
It is. Well, we're here for a number of reasons, to meet new people, make new connections, talk to investors as well. And it's been interesting for me because it's consolidating what I thought I knew about the industry. Life insurance needs to be reinvigorated. Policyholders are looking for a different type of experience. To Tom's point, the laboratories are looking for ways of accelerating access to the type of technologies that we know are now available that potentially can save our lives. So I think a lot of factors are coming together, and being here is really good because I'm seeing, in real time now, and able to talk to insurance companies who are telling me that that's exactly, the agenda. That's what they're focused on. So I think timing-wise for us, I think it's good as well.
Has anything surprised you yet that you've either heard, met, seen? Anything out of that you wouldn't have expected?
Well, I was here 3 or 4 years ago, and it was impressive then, but I think it's even more impressive now. It's just I just said to myself this morning, this has to go on my calendar to be here every year. So it's a winner.
Yeah, it feels like when I think back to these earlier conferences, this was a little part of the insurance industry. It feels like the technology is about to eat the whole structure as we know it.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
if people want to learn more about what you do, how can they find you?
Well, let's see. They can go on our website, healthome.com, and we tell the story there. And there's a lot of information material, and they can reach out, and we'd be happy to discuss any opportunities that come forward.
And just to be really clear, our customers are insurance companies, are carriers. So, if a carrier is listening to this, absolutely. But if you're an individual looking to try to access some of these technologies, we would still encourage you to call us. We'd like to talk to you about how you might access these technologies.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Brian Paget, Senior Vice President of Marketing and Sales at Surify. Yeah, great to be here.
Hey, I'm Ben Brantley, CTO, Surify. Also a pleasure.
Hey, thanks for coming by. You all had a great event. How many people were there yesterday?
I don't have the final number. At one point, we had about 600 people in the room. This is our 5th year doing it, and by far the biggest. I should know, but I think early numbers, both online and in person, walking in and out, we should be right around 1,000 or maybe exceeded it. So
yeah.
It was awesome.
And for people who are listening, Susan, you were there.
I was there.
You kind of created like a sub-event.
Yeah.
Just focused on sort of the life, and I'm going to say annuity industry.
Absolutely.
Okay, and which I think is great. I've never. That could have been one of the biggest technology events, period, in our sector.
Arguably, I haven't found another one that is bigger yet this year specifically, for sure. I mean, we've always come to ITC, and we spend a lot of time kind of wading through all the P&C, the investors, and everybody else. So we feel our goal, if you leave there and got your money for coming to the conference as a life and annuity carrier, that's our goal. We want our event to give you that much value and everything else to be a bonus.
That's our industry, and if we can create a nice, quiet space for our folks to get together, that's pretty special.
And don't forget, we like a lot of the energy too, because there was a rich content. I mean, you turned around, you could have every facet of the industry and go in to listen to those experts, rooms filled with 100 people, to talk about different facets of the industry. So you really went from, the breadth and depth of everything InsurTech and beyond was really great.
Yeah, I mean, we had just as many carriers as InsurTechs on stage, and so in years past, it was a lot of the InsurTechs trying to push carriers to go. All of those carriers on stage have partnered and done something, and so it's to see what's happened in such a short amount of time it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it was great. You come a long way as we've watched your company grow. We appreciate the participation you've had in the Hartford community. So Ben, you talked a lot about the future. You had some really interesting technology. I mean, what was, of all the stuff you rolled out yesterday, what's the most exciting?
Yeah, we're pretty excited. I mean, it's a good segue. We are in the interconnect business, right? We build digital experience, and that generally means we have to connect all the other systems and processes at the insurance carrier. And so it makes us a natural host for that big event because we have to work with all those systems. And yesterday we had the good fortune to talk about our new platform, which is primarily focused on helping insurers take the leap to get everything connected together in a way that makes sense for that digital front end, that digital edge experience. And we broached the agent and advisor divide.
Yeah.
So we've now taken the leap from consumer and are going whole hog at the advisor agent side of the business as well.
Yeah, and you were there. The amount of people asking questions at the end, I think, was indicative of the interest in the product. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, that was good. There was passion. I almost thought I was going to see an actuary fight a data engineer. It was great. Yeah. So any surprises here? Like, okay, this conference, every time you think it can't get bigger, it does.
We talked about one today.
Well, I'm not sure which one.
Yeah,
there's been a couple.
yeah.
I mean, for me, every year it grows. It's amazing, right? I'm hearing 9,000. Maybe it's temp it up even higher. I am excited for our industry. I think it's a good thing. As a vendor, it's more work because we have all of these vendors that didn't traditionally focus on insurance. Like they might come in or throw something. There are people that are spending large amounts of money, dedicating teams to come in. And so, yeah, more work for us to fight through, but it's a good thing. I mean, like I think people are waking up. The insurance carriers are ready to digitally transform and they need help. And that's my biggest surprise.
What do you think about our booth here?
It's beautiful. You got one of the best places.
This is amazing.
That's right. That's right.
Another thing that surprised me a little bit, there's this subtle theme that's come out in the conversations we've been having over the last day, where carriers are coming and talking to us, and they're just saying, I want to get out of a transactional relationship with my software vendor. I want to find a way to have a better partner. And so that's very interesting, right? Typically it would be, I have a business goal I need to achieve, or I have a technical problem. And I've had 3 conversations this morning where it was as much about we want to work together to solve the problem over the long term.
You know what I think? I think that's one of those things that just happened with the last 3 years. I think relationships are so much more important now, and I think that is indicative of that.
And I think it's a maturation, right, for both sides. Maybe there's just a little bit of that. Maybe we're coming over a kind of a curve. I don't know. Maybe too early to say, but. Well,
I also think the pace of change is so high that if I lock into a vendor in a contract and they're going to pay me, I'm going to pay them X dollars per contract to administer for the next 30 years, there's not much reason for anybody to actually say, well, but is this really the equation you should have negotiated?
Yeah, and do we have the right incentives?
Yeah.
That's certainly true.
Yeah. All right. Hey, well, listen, thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Everybody we know how to find Surify, surify.com. Yeah. Okay, and look forward to seeing you guys grow more.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Rob Galbraith. I'm the founder and CEO of Forest View Insights, and we are dedicated to looking at current trends and helping project out what it might imply for the future and helping decision makers with some of these broader trends that are going on. Could be the insurance industry or could be other industries as well. So it's a hard place to be in, and I'm looking to help.
I think that was a humble introduction.
I think so.
Rob, come on. Okay, author. Yeah, I think you're one of the first people out there who is really saying, hey, this is a big deal, right? You got to listen. What if you were talking to your former self, okay, now when you were working for a carrier, was that 5 years ago, 6 years ago at this point?
Up to 3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years ago. So let's say 5 years ago. What advice would you give your former self if you could go back in time?
I think, it's so easy, especially if you work at a larger company, but even a startup, right, where you are just so focused on your day-to-day, the projects that you're tasked with executing, the people you work with, you've got goals to accomplish, you've got metrics that you're evaluated on, right? And it's just really hard to take a look around you at what's going on in the world. And so I think that was it. It was like, hey, my world was USA for almost 20 years, and that was my primary focus, and maybe a little bit of insurance on top of what are the competitors doing, but it really wasn't that broad-based view that I'm trying to bring today.
So tell us more about the broad-based view that you're trying to bring today. How do you go about doing that? What are some of your favorite ways to tell these stories and get the information out there?
Yeah, no, great question, Laura. So as you guys mentioned, right, I wrote a book that came out in 2019 called The End of Insurance as We Know It, and it took about a year to write, and I fell into it, quite frankly. So here I am, I'm a director of underwriting research at USA at the time, and we had certain problems that we were trying to solve. And all of a sudden I started meeting all these startups, technology companies coming out of Silicon Valley and elsewhere. And we had like traditional vendors that we had kind of worked with, but like that was kind of new. And as I saw some of the technology, I was just like, oh my gosh, artificial intelligence, blockchain, what does this all mean? And I was trying to process it. And I think writing the book was almost like, first and foremost, like a personal journey of mine, like, hey, I'm trying to understand this and place it in context. And, in my doing that and writing it down and publishing a book that thankfully, became a bestseller and really resonated with a lot of people, I felt like, hey, this is something I'm really passionate about. It's, just a very different world from my day-to-day of taking this broad-based view. So what I'm hoping to do with Forest View is really go, beyond just writing like book number 2 or book number 3 and going on the speaker circuit and all that, is really just kind of like, hey, what are some of those high-level trends? And let me do the work for you, because I understand everyone's really busy. And so as I kind of look at the news media, as I talk to people at events like ITC and elsewhere, and I love reading books, so I'll just kind of dive into it, and I love hearing different perspectives and then trying to synthesize that. So it's like, let me do that work for you. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I will give it a fair bit of conscious thought and try to tie some of these loose ends in an easily digestible way for you, so that you can then kind of jump off from my content, right, and then drive conversations within your organizations, with colleagues, et cetera, right, that helps shape you when you are engaging with a startup or a vendor, or you're launching a new product or whatnot. You kind of have that little bit of context at the very beginning. And so it's just something I have always been fascinated by, the big picture view, and happy to help bring that to people in a very quick and digestible manner.
Yeah, I think I was at the first InsurTech, and I think there may be 800 or 1,000 people here. I was blown away. 10,000. I think.
It's insane.
I heard that number.
Yeah.
How does that change how you collaborate? Like, look, CES has something like 35,000, 50,000 people showing up. I don't know what the number is. It's enormous. I'm probably underestimating it. What kind of recommendations would you make for innovation, people who are responsible innovation when they've got to walk a floor that's as massive as this?
So a couple things, Paul. First of all, know your why, I guess I would say. It's like, who are we as an organization? Who are we trying to serve? And I mean that at a very high level, not just a perfunctory, like, well, this is the strategy on the paper, this is what our CEO says, or this is what our consulting group says that we should be doing, right? Bottom line, what is your why? Like, what are you there to serve? And that may be a broader view than you've traditionally taken, right? So here are the traditional products and services that we bring, but I think if you take a very holistic view, then that kind of lets you say, here are the spaces that maybe we want to create or innovate in, and then here's the stuff that we're not. Like that negative space, you need to define those boundaries. Once you understand that why, then you obviously want to come up with some strategies of like, how are we going to execute to that, right? And you want to have some flexibility on that, but you want to have some discipline, some timelines, et cetera. And so when you come to an event with 10,000 attendees, with I don't know how big this expo hall on that we're recording the podcast on or whatever, right? But you got to have a game plan. Like, you can't just serendipitously, like, take every meeting that somebody asked to have with you or whatnot. Like, you have to be very purposeful and have a plan. And so I think that's the key. And so as you drill down, the one last thing that you need to have is the ability to, rethink, right? And kind of be like, hey, I could be wrong. So I always encourage people to question the assumptions that you've made. So as you've thought about, like, who do we serve, what's our why, what's our strategy, and then how are we going to execute, always go back to, hey, there's some underlying assumptions about the way the future is going to work out. And some of those are going to probably hold, but some of those won't. And so we need to reevaluate those. Every 6 months, we need to be formally kind of documenting what those are and have the willingness to change our mind, right? Not have this hubris to say, hey, we've got it figured out now and forever forward.
So if I wanted to walk into my place of business or sit down and turn on my Zoom and sound like I know what could be going on either right now or 5 months, 5 years from now, it sounds like I should be subscribing to your newsletter. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would love for people to start there. So people can find it at seetheforestview.com. It's free. It comes out twice weekly. And every month I kind of examine a different theme. and I'll talk about different aspects of that team. So this month it's about humans and machines, and kind of where do you place the humans and where do you place the machines, and how do we design those machines, but then how do those machines in turn impact us as humans, right? In the past I've looked at how to run innovation right within a large organization, how to create a culture that's both innovative and diverse and inclusive. Looked at broader trends in auto insurance and whatnot. So every month I kind of try to look at a trend and then kind of go from there. And right now, I've first launched with the newsletter. I hope to bring other content like podcasts and videos going forward, but right now I'd love for people to subscribe and give me feedback. What's meaningful to you? Do you find value in this, or what's missing, right? Or what would make it more valuable to you? Again, what's tough as a founder, right, and as an entrepreneur, you see an opportunity, and it's in your head, right? But until you get it out there and you kind of have those interactions with people and get that feedback, you don't really know, hey, does this make sense to other people? And then, I'm kind of writing for past me. I always tell people, right, of like, hey, I wish I had this when I was in those previous roles, but I want to help people now that are currently in certain roles, and so having that feedback from them would be very, very valuable.
Yeah. Hey, well, love your why, love what you're doing here. Keep it up, and hey, thanks for coming by.
Absolutely, Paul, Laura, it's so great to be with you guys again.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you for all that you do for the industry of sharing our stories and help getting the word out and help connect people.
Yeah. Hey, great, thanks. Hi, who are you and what do you do?
I'm John Warburton. I'm CEO of Concilio, which is a tech-enabled broker from the UK, also a proud member of the InsurTech, the UK Connecticut InsurTech Corridor.
Oh, we want to dive deep in that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so obviously we were excited to help support that. We had the signing, Laura, right, in our boat building in Hartford, with the console and stuff. So
I was there. I signed on behalf of InsurTech UK. So
you were there.
That's my other hat, is that I'm also on the Council of InsurTech UK, which is a trade association that helped to set it up and helped to create the demand for it from the UK InsurTechs. And it was a fantastic expression of commitment, really, from the insurance community there in Hartford when we signed. I think it was back in February.
Yeah.
Your insurance commissioner, who is an absolutely excellent person, came. He's just as a regulator, I've never met a more charismatic regulator, I don't think. And but you just got a sense that there was a commitment there from the insurance community in Connecticut to foster innovation and to help to incorporate, bring across the best the UK has to offer and foster that innovation. It's great.
So what brings you down to ITC?
So my own company, Concilio, it's a technology-enabled broker, as I said. We are thinking about what's next for us. That's part of our context for being members of the corridor, and this is where you find out what's going on in the world of InsurTech. But we're probably got, as much as we're trying to understand what's going on in the InsurTech scene, we're also very interested in what's going on in the insurance industry more broadly in the US. Particularly for us, we're a commercial insurance broker, so it's about what's happening between agents and carriers. Where's the zeitgeist, if you like, of the agent and broker business model at the moment? The extent to which innovation is being fostered. And we met with a very interesting organization called Broker Tech Ventures, who are really driving brokers themselves, driving innovation, which is something we don't see as much of in the UK. So I thought that was a really interesting.
Oh, it's a great program. We know them. I think they've done just a great job. And I guess what are your goals this year? Is it really discovery, learning
I
the market?
think discovery, and the corridor is a really big part of that. So fostering some relationships, understanding the market. I think one of the reasons that I was enthusiastic about the corridor from a trade association point of view was it gives that bridgehead opportunity, gives you that. Because if you think about how an InsurTech, how a startup's going to go about any international expansion, they're going to have to put some sort of plan together before they make a commitment. They're going to want to establish, product market fit to some extent, but they're going to judge that based on, the first question you ask, are the problems similar here to the ones I have back in my home country? Yeah, and so far for us, tick. So it's pretty much the same. So the problems are the same. Yes, will our solution work? Well, there might be some wrinkles, but more to that, what's the market size? Where would we go? Who would be our counterparties, and all this kind of stuff. And the great thing about a program like the Corridor is it gives you a chance to ask those questions in a relatively friendly way. without sending loads of people over on planes to make fools of themselves, or, trying to knock on closed doors in Hartford. It just gets the dialogue going, and that's very much what we're about. So I came with 5 colleagues, so there's 6 of us here, and we are really trying to just cover the space and really understand, so that we have really good input into those plans for ourselves. And whether we end up then establishing in the US before we establish in Europe as an international expansion, this will give us the information to make that judgment, really. And
if we, as a community, Hartford and sort of this InsurTech community as a whole, pulled more people like you, more of your friends, what should we keep doing more of?
Well, I think it is about access to decision makers. I also believe very strongly you shouldn't have too many expectations on either side. So I think sometimes the error that InsurTechs make early on is, I've got a big meeting with the Hartford, right? I'm going to do my 75 pages of PowerPoint. I'm going to, da-da-da-da-da. And wouldn't it be cool if people can just have a short, no hassle, not too many expectations, a thing. And then I think, I used to work in Allianz, and I think if you're sitting in a carrier position, there's a lot of people who want to get a meeting with you. And if you know that it's been kind of quality controlled to some extent, and then you can judge it for relevance, and then you're like, okay, you know what, and there's a format that you can say, hey, you know what, I give half an hour of my time, and we can judge it. That's so much more efficient than someone trying to bash down your PA's door, trying to get in there, and then you have this embarrassing 1 hour meeting with somebody that's really doing something completely different to what you thought they were, and that's really boring. So I think that's it's creating serendipity, I think, is what I would say do more of, and that means having the network that you have through the corridor and everything that CTIF, IFS are doing, and just allowing serendipity to happen. I think that's really powerful.
And if people want to learn more about you and your company, how can they find you?
I'm on LinkedIn, John Warburton, or Warburton, I should say, if you want to be able to spell it phonetically. And our website, Consilio, KONSILEO.com. Look us up and reach out. And and the thing I'm passionate about, if someone's really interested in innovation in the broker space, I would love to talk to people. I'm really interested in understanding, particularly in the US context, what are the problems that brokers face, what are the solutions that people are kind of really investing in. We're getting a lot of that from here, but very happy to have dialogue about that.
Excellent. All right, listen, thanks for stopping by, and we'll look forward to hopefully working with you more in the future.
Thank you for everything you're doing in Hartford, and I'm just looking forward to my steamed cheeseburger next time I visit.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks. So, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Alexandra Gladishevskaya. I'm CEO and co-founder at Ukrainian InsurTech SPAC. So we are an online digital platform for insurance of digital assets and pet insurance. So the idea is to make insurance as simple as it could be. First of all, for Gen Z, for very young generation. They're taking care about their pets, about iPhones, about their digital life. But what we see on the market now, that insurance industry can offer them almost nothing to protect their lives. So they do not have like cars, houses, they do not care about their retirement plan, but they are taking care about their Instagram account. So it's really important for them, and our big goal and our big mission is to protect their life.
Okay, so we have to just take a little step back, a little bit of the backstory. So 3 years ago, you came from Ukraine to Hartford, different business, same people, different business model, right?
Yes, exactly.
And why did you come here to Hartford then?
It was in 2019. I was under 30 at that time. It's just hard to imagine that I was under 30 like some years ago. Yes, so actually it was a great opportunity for us, thanks to Nasuri and Dina Bilaeva, our mentor and a big friend of mine now. So we, at that moment, we, frankly speaking, understood almost nothing about insurance in America. I had at that time already 8 years of experience in this industry, and what I knew that like in the world we have insurance in America and insurance in the rest of the world. So it's quite different. But we decided to accept this challenge and try ourselves on the US market.
So how was the Hartford hospitality in that regard?
Oh, it was really amazing, and like I even couldn't imagine at that time that after 3 years that hospitality, that network, and I can say now that friends I made that time will help us so much in 2022.
So what are some of the things that you're looking for right now as a company?
In general, so of course we're looking for investments because we have like very like great plans and we want to reach it, of course, and we are going to launch a new product till the end of this year. So of course we need not just money. And it's mostly not about money. So we would like to find investor like from insurance industry, and we want this investor to become our partner, to become carrier, to back up us with the capacity and coverage. Yes.
And we did skip over one surprise. So you've navigated this company through an amazing challenge in Ukraine. So tell us, you went back to Ukraine, built up found your way into pet insurance. Then you had some next door neighbors horribly come in to your country. Tell us what's happened. What's that been like running a company in the middle of a war?
I don't know how to say, but you can just took war in two ways. So the first one is disaster. So you can just decide to stop at this point and think that we cannot just develop our startup anymore, so we have to make something different, we have to find a job, we have to escape from the country, we have to protect our families, and so on. So like, you can choose the way when you just stop your normal life and just to become, okay, let's say classical employee. From the other way, you can take war as a challenge. So let's try myself. If I can stay sustainable in that hard situation. So the challenge is to find investments. The challenge is to build a great team. The challenge is to launch the product. But the challenge is real challenge. How to make live your products, your team, how to get investments in this to be surrounded by war. Yes. So this is the real challenge.
Well, we thank you for your courage in choosing what you chose. And we're all here to support your efforts.
And thank you for your support for Ukrainians. I've already told you like million of times, and I can repeat it more and more and more.
Yeah, well, thanks so much. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Eric Rosso, co-founder and CEO of Diameter Health.
I'm Paul Lupinu. I'm a physician by background. I'm VP and Medical Director at Diameter Health.
Reed Perry, VP of Strategic Partnerships for Diameter Health.
Great, and it's so good, Eric, to catch up with you and your team. I think we talked, what, maybe 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and you've had some just breaking news about your company. Tell us what's happened.
Yeah, so I like to think it's been a 9-year overnight success, but we were acquired about 3 weeks ago by a company based out of Jacksonville, Florida called Availity. And Diameter, for those that don't know what we do, we're really good at taking clinical data, enriching it, normalizing it, deduplicating it, making it useful for downstream applications in healthcare.
Yeah, and I like that, a 9-year overnight story. What's the backstory? How did you and why did you start this company?
Well, first I'll say it's completely a team sport, and it started over a dining room table with my co-founder John DeMoore, who is in Wellesley, Mass. And we recognized the need for good quality clinical data to drive all sorts of improvement and positive outcomes in healthcare. And from that point, we've just grown the company, figured out product market fit in the markets we serve.
Yeah, and Paula, what stood out around your product, the service you delivered that led somebody to say, we got to have it, we're going to buy the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a physician by background, and some of the challenges that Diameter Health solves in terms of really connecting various sources of data into one data asset is really what was missing in my care delivery model. And just kind of meeting Eric and meeting John, learning about their focus on mission, learning what they were trying to do with healthcare, it just became a natural fit for what I was looking to do from a career standpoint, and solved some of the challenges that I was looking to solve when I was in clinical practice with my own patients. So thrilled to be here and again, doing the right thing in the healthcare space.
Yeah, and Reed, maybe you talk to us a little bit about the successes you had in actually building partnerships to build a business over the last few years.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think we've had a really strong culture, strong clinical informatics team that was sort of the backbone of Diameter Health, and over the last, I've been with the company for about 3.5 years, we've had the opportunity to work with a number of large partners and establish meaningful relationships in the HIE space, in the payer space, life insurance space. We're at ITC Connect, obviously, so we're doing a lot of work in the insurance market. But yeah, I mean, because we've had such expertise in the clinical space, we've been able to build sort of great partnerships with great brands and great companies.
And Eric, it's safe to say this company was sort of born and built and succeeded in Connecticut. Is that
fair? Very much so. The insurance capital of the world. We're super proud of that. Our world headquarters are in Farmington. This is the second company I co-founded that was also backed by Connecticut Innovation, so I want to make a call out to CI. They've been awesome partners throughout the journey. And obviously, paradoxically, we've grown quite a bit throughout the pandemic because it really highlighted how important clinical data was and timely access to that data.
Yeah. So I guess, usually, a company buys a company because they want to do something more with it. What's that more? What are you bringing to the equation, and how does 1 + 1 equal more than 2?
Yeah, it's funny. I think 1 + 1 in this instance equals 11. We were not running a process. We were not looking to be acquired per se. It just made sense. We are really, really good and focused on clinical data. Availity sits in between providers and payers, and they are a gateway of lots of data, largely claims data. And so from our view, the holy grail of really making healthcare work at scale is combining that clinical data with the claims data to have positive outcomes and cost efficiency.
Yeah, I think you said this is the first time at this conference, ITC, is that right?
It is.
So I'm curious, both of you, is this the first time you've been here?
Yeah, I've been here once before. My former role is in life insurance.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess, what are your takeaways so far? I mean, we're maybe halfway through this conference, maybe halfway, depending on when you showed up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incredible. It's definitely grown, in the time that I've known it. I think there's more of a focus on life insurance, specifically around companies that touch some of the health aspects of decision making for life insurance carriers. And there's some great things that are being done in companies that are not only working in the life insurance space, but also working in other markets that we serve as well. So, and including companies that we partner with, that we work with on a regular basis. So, I really think there's a strong ecosystem. I really think there's a lot of technological advancement, a lot of data insight, and I think data is really the fuel that I think is really changing the way we do business in every market. So great to see all the companies that are here, and great to learn more about what they're doing.
Yeah, Eric, any ahas, wow, this is ripe for opportunity, this is...
Yeah, I mean, one of the big conferences we do go to is called HIMSS, the Health Informatics Management System Society, and this feels very much like that, with a great focus on insurance, obviously. But Paulie touched on this. I mean, our metaphor throughout the years is there's a ton of data out there, there's a ton of digital data out there, we've always thought of that as digital crude oil. And really what we focused on was turning that into high-octane fuel to service a lot of downstream engines. What we're seeing on the floors and the lectures we've gone to today are really how can people take that and make that at scale. We think of population health as precision medicine at scale, and I think you can only do that with the right, accurate, timely data.
Yeah, Reed, what if you had one takeaway so far from day of a conference, what would it be?
I think at least, this is in the narrow scope of Diameter Health. We're focused on the life insurance space here, but I think, we want to help enable life insurance carriers to use that data in a meaningful way. And I think our takeaway is that there is a real need for that reinsurers, carriers, vendors are all acquiring more and more multi-source and multi-format clinical data that gives them a lot of information about an applicant, and they are trying to figure out how to synthesize that and use it in a meaningful way. And I think we can play, and we're part of the solution that does that. I think we play an important role in doing that.
All right. Hey, well, listen, thanks for coming by, and congratulations. What a milestone here in Connecticut. See another company be acquired, and let's see what's next.
Awesome.
Right.
Great to be
excited
here.
for
Thanks
sure.
so much, Paul.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Who are you, and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Nina Stanley. I'm the head of channel sales for a company called Healthy.
And what does Healthy do?
Thank you for asking. Healthy is a benefits navigation and employee engagement platform. We're AI-driven, but what makes us very different is that we ingest all of the health plans, medical, dental, vision, and any ancillary related programs like a digital MSK fertility, so that you have one healthcare operating system to deploy for all the employee health benefits.
So is that like something that is the interface between you, the employee, and an employer? Or are you behind the employer? How does it work with a employee, me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So the employer chooses to work with Healthy, and then Healthy is available either on desktop or a mobile application. And we send out registration emails to the employees welcoming them to use Healthy platform. They log in, answer some identifying questions so we understand their unique persona and how they want to be engaged with. And then I want you to think of Healthy and our chief virtual assistant Zoe, just like Amazon's Alexa or iPhone's Siri, where you say, "Hey Zoe, I have back pain, what am I covered for?"
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
It's all about healthcare now. It's all about wellness and also building the relationship. There's some trust there, I think.
Absolutely. The platform really, our North Star is engagement, because we could have the best AI out there, but if you're not engaging your employees, it's all for nothing. And so we really double down on that, and customer success team that we also deploy for each unique employer group to make sure that we're hitting that mark and we're answering employees where they want to be met.
What is your satisfaction rates, numbers at this point? Have you been out in the market already, and do you have a satisfaction rate?
We do. So we're moving north of around a 70% satisfaction rate. In fact, the AI is so intuitive and more personalized that people write us thank you letters, and they're addressed to Zoe, and she's not real.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, well, we're actually one of their customers. Now, Nina, were you at our event when your company pitched?
I wasn't. That was my colleagues, but I'm very familiar with your group. Yeah.
Yeah. So Healthy came in with that Israeli contingent. Okay.
Oh, very nice. Yes,
it was very
I recall.
Yeah, and the demo was so good. We had a handful of our employees out in the audience, and they said, "Paul, why can't we get this here for us?" And our head of HR, Jackie Bamman, really supported this stuff.
She's great. Yeah.
Yeah. She said, "Hey, Jackie, please, can you just spend a few minutes? I love this. This is great." So we have it in place for our employees.
What a great
right
testimonial.
Now.
Yeah, exactly.
I
mean, it's actually done. That's terrific.
Healthcare
is so complicated too. It gets more and more complicated each year. This is a way to simplify that and give great trust between the employer and employee too, because there's a feeling of trust on the fact that they've chosen for them anyway that benefit plan and that wellness plan and all those criteria, right? and this is a way for the employee to get some real true benefit from that.
That's right on the mark. I mean, employers spend more on benefits than next to payroll, right? And then 70% of employees say they don't understand what they're covered for. So if they're not engaging in all those benefit designs that employers spend so much money on, again, all for nothing. So we want to remove that friction point and actually help people navigate care appropriately and understand cost and quality, which drives down healthcare costs, but also helps people choose the right facilities for the best quality of care, because they're paying for it with these high deductible health plans, or your fully funded clients who also are paying quite a bit because they're managing the claims too.
Yeah, it's is this the first time you've been to this conference?
This conference, yes, and it's amazing though, right?
Yeah, it's huge. Every time I come, it's
a bit overwhelming, but fun.
Yeah.
Glad you came to Connecticut.
Yeah. What? I guess what's the biggest learning you've had over the last day or so here talking to people?
The innovation is unbelievable. So to be surrounded by people who just are thought leaders and think of so much advanced need in the community, especially in the SureTech space, is pretty marvelous to watch, and I love to be a part of it.
Yeah, excellent. So if somebody wants to, if a company or a broker, right, would like to learn more, what's the best way to find out about your company, get in contact with
That's
you?
great, yeah, and if I may, so the channels that we move our product in are direct to employer or brokers, TPAs, PEOs, or carriers. So if you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or at my email, which is nina.stanley@healthywith2es.co.
Excellent, thanks so much. Thanks for coming by.
Nice to meet you.
Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Neil Singh. I am the Vice President of Operations in a company called EOX Vantage based in Cleveland, Ohio.
And what is it that your company does?
We do a lot of workflow automation, back office solutions for insurance companies. We also serve other areas. Give me a second. So here are 5 things that we do very well. Streamlined workflow, intelligent automation, actionable dashboards, data science, working with actuaries, and also back office optimization.
That's a lot.
Huh?
That's a lot.
That is a lot, yes. It's a lot of, I'm trying to avoid talking too technical about it because it does get very, very much in the weeds.
Yeah.
But the point is that our technology and the number of use cases we have had in the insurance industry has helped mid-market insurance companies across the country actually optimize their workflow and how they work with their carriers, their agents, and also their customers. So long story short, we add value, we create value in that data, and we can do it in real time. So that's really good.
Cool. So what are some of your goals for the conference?
Some of our goals for the conference, obviously partnerships are a big one. We're looking at integrating more partners into we're creating a marketplace within our product. And we serve a good handful of clients in the insurance space right now who are always talking to us about how can we add value as a tech company to their workflow and the things that they're doing. So we're looking at forms, companies that create different kinds of forms, companies that can integrate maybe payment platforms or security platforms. We're looking at partnerships like that. The other thing we're also thinking about is how do we attract more clients? So we're a growing company. We started in 2004. It's still founder-owned, so we're about 18 years old. And what we're trying to do is take it from where we are now as a small to mid-market company into a much bigger company where we can start working with a lot of the top sort of Fortune 1000 kind of clients.
So what's your biggest surprise at this conference?
The scale of the conference. I wasn't expecting ITC. This is my first time at ITC. I have actually attended Money 2020 done podcasts and things like that there as well. I've attended CES, which is a very big tech conference. So I was kind of like coming to this one thinking, it's insurance, how big could it really be? And then I look at the crowd and I look at the hall and it's full of exhibitors and I'm like, wow, this is a very big deal. So I was pretty impressed.
What is one tip you would give someone who's thinking about starting a company?
Oh, that's a very good question. In my experience, become a learner. So if you're a founder, learn, and learn from your customers. So basically, when we're going into conversations with our customers, and this always stays with you, whether you're a startup or whether you're a mature corporate, you're always trying to address the pain points. Ask the right questions about what are your pain points, what problem can we help you solve, and also focus. You can't go in 50 different directions. You got to be the one source of truth. You got to be a focused company on here's what we do and here's what we do well. And ultimately that's what helps you grow the business. And I think you can measure success by how well you serve your customers. So it's kind of like whether you have one customer or 100 customers, the best you can do to serve them, that's what will create integrity and trust in the marketplace.
Excellent. All right, well, if people want to learn more about the company or talk to you, what's the best way to do it?
We have a booth here at the ITC conference. I believe the number is 2058. So we're at the end of the conference hall, so you can come and visit us there. Otherwise, if you want to reach out after the conference, I have an email address, which is N for Neil, nsing@eoxvantage.com. And again, you can find our website at www.eoxvantage.com.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Mike Kalin, CEO of COVR.
And tell us more about COVR.
COVR is a digital life insurance platform embedded to help wealth management firms, broker-dealers, banks, credit unions, RIA firms sell life insurance more simply and seamlessly to their customer base.
And Mike, I know you've turned this company into one of the stars here in the Hartford community. I think you just did a capital raise. Is that public? Have you?
We did.
You
we
did?
Yeah.
Okay.
We hit the market really well. We closed our fundraising in February of 2022, kind of right before the world changed in front of our eyes. It was a $15 million fundraise. Some great investors, great participation from our Series A investors, and we added a couple of great new investors, including Stone Point Capital.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, great news. I want to talk about just talent. How you doing on the talent pipeline, and what do you need?
Yeah, well,
what are you looking for, and how are you?
I mean, we love our team. We're very focused. We have a talented group of people that, frankly, are now located in 22 states, and in my opinion, that's about 19 states too many. So we are.
Our opinion too.
We had to hire talent through last year as we were scaling up. We just launched a new partnership with Citibank, and that required us to staff up in almost every area. So we hired in one of the hardest markets to hire. So key talent was not looking to be committed to an office location, and they weren't coming in anyway. So we chased the talent probably a little bit more than we should have. So our very explicit focus now is we're retrenching around our core locations, which are Hartford, Connecticut, and Boise, Idaho. And we think that through that refocus over a gradual period of time, we'll be able to concentrate our key talent more in those locations. We're obviously not terminating employees. We've had to do a lot to kind of create and maintain our culture, which we were always very proud of. We were rapid designers, we loved innovation. We had to learn to do that, when we were hiring and onboarding people. We never really met face to face. And I do think that's cost us speed to market. And we're going to try and address that now over the next 6 to 12 months.
Okay, well, maybe we just talk like macro environment. You've been involved, you've helped us with our incubator. You played a leadership role in Hartford with the InsurTech program, right? You've done a lot of things. So stepping out, putting on your community hat, wow, a lot of people are here. It was so easy to raise money before. All you had to do was do a PowerPoint, right, Mike?
Yeah.
That was it.
A pitch deck and an MBA got you $5 million.
Just like that.
That's my standard line. It was just so easy.
It was so easy. You had it easy. So now these other people have it much harder. What's the environment like? If I'm a company today, what's the hurdle for me to actually get funded by a VC?
Yeah. Look, there's no hard and fast rule, but to me, that first checkpoint is you have to have customers and contracts that give you a straight line to at least $1 million of recurring revenue, predictable recurring revenue. And the companies that can get to that chin-up bar or close, there's still plenty of capital. And there's actually more capital on the sidelines now than maybe there was even 12 to 18 months ago.
Interesting.
Because a lot of the funds have put things on pause. There's, as you know, been a reset in valuation expectations where those raising capitals wanted X, and now it's clear that it's X minus. And that may even be a good thing, that these very irrational valuations are coming back into a more normal
I think it is.
range. So I do think that if our early stage companies can get to that $1 million, contracted, recurring, predictable revenue, there's plenty of folks out there that will fund. Doesn't mean that those that are pre-revenue won't get funded. Doesn't mean automatically that if you're at $1 million, you're going to get funded. But I think that's a real simple rule of thumb right now is if you can get contracts and commitments to $1 million of revenue, there's a lot of people that'll invest.
And we've heard so much, I think, just in the conversations we've had here about trust and engagement and partnerships now. How much more valuable is that on that side? Is that really kind of part of the equation now, a little bit more so?
With our commercial partners or our vendors?
With both. I would say with everything.
So we sit in the middle of very large financial institutions. Morgan Stanley, US Bank, Navy Federal Credit Union, Citibank, E-Trade are all customers of Cover. So those are our distribution partners. We don't do a good job for them, but we will hear about it, as we should. And then we make a market because we make it easier for customers of those firms to purchase insurance products from the best brands out there. Lincoln, Prudential, John Hancock, Protective, Nationwide, Bright House, Pacific Life, on and on and on. We also make a market for the InsurTech companies like Haven Life and Bestow, and companies like Assurity and Americo that are trying to get their products digitally to clients. So, I feel my job is to be closest to the pin with committing capabilities to the partner. So if I tell them it's going to be one signature, no medical all the time, and I can't deliver that, they're not going to trust me. If I tell Prudential, Lincoln, Bestow, Haven, and the rest that they're going to all be getting $25 million of premium from me in 12 months, they're not going to be happy. So there is a lot to keep that going. But they are all in on innovation. The partners know they have to go digital and make it easier, and the carriers know they have to innovate. So if we could help make that market, we do a good job.
What's one thing that you've learned here that's surprised you?
I should have started up a property and casualty insurance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of claims automation, AI-driven underwriting, yeah, so there's a lot of innovation in the property and casualty space. There's less on devices this year. I remember a year or two ago, you'd walk through here and there'd be people with spigots of water and showing how the devices would there seems to be less devices this year, maybe a little more AI. There's also a little bit more with diversified providers. It used to be property and casualty, health, life. There's a few more people that are trying to go across the segments now, so I've seen a little bit of that too.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Mike, thanks for stopping by and giving us some time.
It's great. You guys have got a great presence here, and I think this is a great way to get ideas out there quickly, and happy to have been on your show. So,
great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, so who are you and what do you do?
Sure. My name is Gordon Hoy, and I serve as head of product and head of marketing for HSB's IoT business.
And what brought you down to ITC?
Well, we got to go where our people are, right? And this is where insurance and technology meets, and we're in the middle of InsurTech, and so that's why we're here. And I'm also excited to be here with...
Hello again, Gordon. Nice to see you. We're always happy to have you as part of the thriving insurtech ecosystem in Hartford. You guys take
Absolutely.
a leadership role, both you personally, we always thank you for that, and of course for HSB, Munich Re, to be on the forefront of all those technologies and IoT.
Yeah, we're absolutely happy to support the local community as it relates to insurtech. You know, I think, like I always say, like HSB, our namesake is Hartford. We got to be there for Hartford, right? And we're committed to the places where we live and work, and insurtech is one of the big opportunities for us.
Oh yeah, totally. So, okay, can you let us in on what's the secret thing you're hunting for here?
What's the secret thing I'm hunting for here? Well, you know, it's funny. The thing I'm trying to hunt for is the people I haven't seen in literally 3 years, including you guys, actually. So it's just so nice, you know, in the wake of the pandemic to finally be together with people again and see people, you know, and reconnect with clients I haven't seen in a while, reconnect with partners I haven't seen in a while, reinforce what we're doing as it relates to insurance and IoT, and this was the place to do it.
Has anything surprised you?
It is really nice to see the energy here. You know, like this is literally the first conference I've been to since the last one back in 2019, and so it's just really nice to see the energy, the variety of companies that are here. The startups have gotten a lot bigger. They have much bigger booths now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We've heard that and seen it.
And just kind of the types of companies that are here, it just shows the maturity of insurtech, right? Like we're seeing a lot of the bigger companies show up, and the blending in with the smaller companies is really nice.
Tell us what's going on in Hartford in your control center there.
In my control center?
Yeah, your Center of Insurance Excellence. That,
we made a big announcement today. So we issued a press release that we're releasing our next generation IoT mobile app next month. It's called Meshify Protect. It's been a year of work for my team, software developers, UX UI designers, QA people, testers, a lot of our local community who help us figure out the use cases of our solution. So we're really excited to launch that. It's going to be a game changer.
The timing on my question was appropriate.
Appropriate.
I had no idea.
You probably didn't even know, right?
You know, we're so on it in Hartford. We don't know what we don't know already. So
That's so funny.
Look at that. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. Can I throw it back to you guys? What have you guys been seeing and feeling here?
Laura.
Personally, puppies.
Puppies.
You know, I came from the puppy booth, and like you had mentioned, the booths are larger.
Yeah.
The energy is high. The beer garden opened at, I think, 11:30 this morning, but the puppies were really where it's at.
That was new.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I know it's not quite what you were asking me, but I'll kick the real question back over to Susan.
Oh, great. I didn't get to see the puppies yet, and I'm waiting for that. I'd say we're pushing the international connection.
Yeah.
Hartford has a new relationship with the UK.
Brilliant.
And we're foraging that with some super solid strength in our partnerships with great companies like NASA and entities like InsurTech Hartford and Launch. And we look forward to increasing that InsurTech presence here in the US from those companies from the UK, and then taking that on even a higher international level.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Susan says something about the bigger, or both of you, the startups booths are bigger. I think it feels like some of these startups are starting to really catch a wave.
Yeah,
they're riding on. I'm not sure that we're going to see like a Facebook come out of one of these companies, but I think we will see that suddenly 5 years from now, the whole engine that runs these insurance carriers it's going to be entirely different.
Yeah, I think that's where the quote unquote disruption is really going to happen, right? Is whereas it used to be everything was built in house.
Yes.
Right. That's not going to be the mantra going forward.
Yeah.
Would you say, all of you, are there more carriers here now? I think this year.
You're right.
I want to hear from you first.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul. Yes or no?
Absolutely right. It's got to be.
Laura, agreed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
More carriers, and also they're bringing more people.
Yes.
Like one of my clients literally brought like 100 people.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
So we saw like them again and again and again.
And some of them are under the radar screen. I mean, I know you have a big presence here. You always have, but there are new. I've met a few key senior level people from insurance companies that are here, kind of just doing some reconnaissance.
Yeah. I think the first one I came to was in 2017. And it was what you would expect it to be. It was basically a bunch of startups.
Yes.
And a bunch of investors, and they were coming here to figure their thing out, right? And it's just migrated in such a nice way.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah.
And the other big thing is like more regulators than the first time I came around.
Oh.
Yeah.
I went running with one.
Did you really?
Yeah, somebody from Tennessee. I said, I'm going to get in trouble with my government relations group. I tried to slip in some of my own agenda. She's like, I don't know if that's our mandate. I said, it should be. But hey, Gordon, thanks for coming by here.
Yeah, for sure.
Great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Tell us who you are and who are you representing here today?
Yeah, so I am Kyle Hathiramani. I'm representing the University of Connecticut's Hillside Venture Program. They had sent me along with one of my partners, Youssef, here to, kind of dive into the insurtech industry, kind of find out what the subsectors are, and, go back to our team, provide them with some insight, see along the way what we can do to assist, the entrepreneurs that are here, as well as students back home with the opportunities available.
So for those of us who might not be familiar with the Hillside Ventures program, what is that?
So the Hillside Ventures program is pretty much a venture program that was built by the University of Connecticut, provided to the graduates as well as the undergraduates to give them the opportunity to go out into the real world, try to source the deals, and get that experience in venture capital.
So how are you taking that premise and bringing it here to ITC?
So I like to think of myself as a first-timer, and pretty much, along the way, I'm just trying to communicate, network, and, learn more about what it is that InsurTech has to offer. With that, I believe that's where my experience is going to come in handy, hopefully, and see what I can do at the end of the day to assist our team back at UConn.
Okay, so this is Shark Tank.
Yeah.
We have so much money.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you pitch us today after walking around here the whole day?
Let's see. So
or what would you not pitch us? Do it either way.
So I sat down for a majority of. Are you referring to some of the?
Yeah, like you have an idea.
What you see?
Yeah.
So I did sit down for a few of the demos. I was, a few of them had shocked me in terms of the technology that was available. One actually kind of provides information that you would think the Weather Channel does, but on a whole different level. So they pretty much provided you with information on landscaping, what to expect in terms of, like climate change, how it can affect the land, how much the damages would cost. They were able to predict, possible, disasters that were approaching. So they showed us like the hurricanes that are currently down towards the Caribbean area, and one that they're seeing coming along at the beginning of October. They were also able to landscape where wildfires are usually going to occur, and the direction that the wildfires would head towards due to the elevation. That was one that really impressed me. I don't know, there was so many. That's just so hard. I don't want to confuse any of the
So what
companies.
do you say? Are we investing in that company? Or,
I think we are.
Yeah, I think you sold us. I think you did.
Awesome.
So we'll take an equity stake too.
Right.
Hey, maybe I should try to get into sales then. Huh?
All right. Wait, what are your plans for the rest of the day and tomorrow?
So pretty much, my whole plan was just to network as much as possible. So I'm going to continue to try to do that, see if there's any other opportunities we can find available, and try to meet as many folks as I can. And on my downtime, explore Vegas. It's my first time here, so.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
be careful.
We'll take
Yeah.
Be careful.
Now we'll go off air.
Yes. All right. Hey, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you.
So, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, Paul. So I'm Manu Agarwal. I lead marketing globally for the insurance vertical at Infosys.
Hey, this is Vilas. My name is Vilas Shah. I'm head of partnership and alliances for Infosys and take care of Infosys for all our InsurTech partners, our horizontal partners, our vertical partners, all of them.
Keyword partnership, right?
Yes,
We'll talk
indeed.
about that. Susan Winkler, Executive Director of Connecticut Insurance Financial Services. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell us, what's going on in your world? That's a big question. So I don't know, Vilas, I'll kind of throw it out, maybe broadly the Northeast, and then Manu, let's double click into the insurance space.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So let me start. So what's happening with us as at Infosys is we're looking to think differently. We're starting to think, or the way we should really be thinking is not to reinvent the wheel. Someone's already invented the wheel. Let's bring that and build a car over that. So with that concept, what we are trying to do is bring all the InsurTech partners. They bring a lot of innovative ideas. They bring thoughts, partnership thoughts. They bring ideas that we have not even thought about today. So some of them are pretty good. Some of them need maturing. So we do some filtering. We try to bring them together. That's the big thing happening today.
I like that. Why build a wheel if we already have one?
Exactly.
Yeah. More people need to think like that.
Sure. So I think I'll take a leaf from the insurance campaign that we have launched very recently, Paul, and it's more of a philosophy. So when we go to our clients, we talk about so many different value propositions to them. But I think this whole philosophy around speed, accuracy, and trust. I think that's something which is applicable to insurers, to insurtechs, to service providers like us. That's something. So I'll, if I may, I'll just very quickly double click on each of these. So speed, where we are talking about whenever a client, a customer to insurer reaches out to them, are we we have this provocation of responding within 180 seconds. Are you able to do that? So that's the provocation. We are going ahead with the speed part of it, and then the accuracy part, where are you able to respond to them with a single source of truth? Are you getting the information from all the data sources and giving them the right picture, and that too in the right context, in the context that they are seeking that information. And also about trust, which is nothing but the repeatability part of it. Are you able to do that every time a client is reaching out to you? So that's my thinking around this, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, we keep hearing about trust, and the heightened level of that in the strategic planning is so critically important now for any product or insurer or service provider. So I'm really glad you mentioned it, because we keep hearing it over and over again, that partnership. You mentioned partnerships. Let's talk about that. What's the key to partnerships, and what do you see here at ITC as far as partnerships?
So what we see here is this is an ecosystem of bringing everything together. You got insurers, you got carriers, you got partners like us coming here to look for partners, and then you got the InsurTech partners. They've all come together, and this is becoming a melting pot where everybody's going to meet everybody. And I've seen that year over year, this place is growing bigger and bigger, right? So this is my first time I've been here, but what I heard from previous years, those who attended previous years, they said, wow, this is bigger. So that's what I see that's where it is heading towards. All these partnerships are going to help ultimately the carriers, because they are the ones who are going to benefit out of them.
So if I'm a startup here on the floor, why should I seek out a partnership with Infosys?
Fantastic question. So the things that we look for and we offer to a partner. We've seen a lot of partners who come out with beautiful ideas, fantastic thoughts, fantastic technology, but they lack the backbone of scaling up. So they do not have funding, or they do not have technical resources to scale up. Secondly, they do not have a way to present themselves in front of a client. You've seen what Shark Tank does. So you bring them together, the shark likes them, he'll take them to market. So that's the catalyst role that we are playing here, is find those right gems in this whole sea. There are many gems. So you got to find them, nurture them, and then take them to the right clients.
Yeah. And a lot of people, that's valuable for a lot of these startups, Susan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about what you do in Hartford, in the fact that you had a decision to make. Infosys had a decision to make about 5-6 years ago, and they looked across the U.S. and set up some tech centers, centers of excellence, and one of those were in Hartford. We're very, very honored that you chose Hartford, and we want to make sure that continues to grow. Tell us about the vision of that and where it is today.
So, obviously we wanted to, Hartford is a melting pot of ideas, so to say, and, this also makes it, the insurance capital of the world. There are so many insurtechs which are around, and we being the catalyst, as Vilas was also mentioning, we wanted to be part of this whole ecosystem, to be where our clients and this entire ecosystem is present. And I think we are doing a good job in doing that. We are partnering with the universities, the schools there. So, and then, from the grounds up, we are getting into the, partnering with the insurtechs. So I think we are bringing this whole ecosystem also together in a way. So I think that's where we are going to.
May I jump in? One other thing
absolutely.
That perhaps we must mention that you guys are doing now is bringing the UK corridor also here.
Oh, yes.
So the door to UK corridor opening up is another big thing. I think that this is going to be the right place to be.
It is. Thank you for bringing that up. Well, and we look at that as a doorway to open to other countries.
Indeed.
And we have had inquiries from other countries at this point based on that UK InsurTech corridor partnership.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks for all the work you've done supporting the Hartford community.
Absolutely.
And hey, listen, we look forward to more work together on some of the great things Susan has in the works, and we're thinking about right now. So
I agree.
Hey.
It's always been a pleasure, Paul and
Likewise.
Susan, being here with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Same here, Paul. Thank you. Thanks, Susan.
Who are you and what do you do?
Sure. My name's Christopher Lowell. I do a number of things, actually. I partner and advise a number of startups and mentor and entrepreneurs in the property and casualty space. I'm building up my own small commercial program. And then what I'd like to talk a little bit more about is I help run a nonprofit focused at the intersection of climate risk, insurance, and innovation.
And that's Insure.
It is. Insure.
Yeah.
INNSURE.org.
Okay. And we know Charlie well, Stephanie. They came up, worked with us on one of our first Retire Tech conference, Laura, right?
Yep, in June.
And we're going to their climate conference. We're actually sponsored.
We are.
October 6th, Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Insure Climate Forum. Excellent.
And what are your goals here?
So most of my goals are actually around the forum, as well as some of the grant writing and applications that we're doing, which is building up an ecosystem of forward-thinking players in the insurance space, whether they be carriers or reinsurers or brokers, NGOs, academics. Those are the list of all the people who will actually be at the forum on October 6th, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And two, we believe that a multi-stakeholder approach is required to actually make progress on creating new insurance products and services to address climate needs and climate risk and change.
So if I'm a potential partner and that sounds like it's interesting to me, how hands-on is it? What should I know going into it? And once I want to, take that step, how do I learn more?
Yep. So reaching out to either myself, Christopher Lowell, or Charlie Sidoti at insure.org is certainly the first step. Right now, we mostly operate as an advisory and network, right? So it's join us, and when we have interesting ideas that may require your subject matter expertise as a carrier or a reinsurer, we will absolutely reach out. If a project goes beyond that, then there's a level of both sort of sponsorship and actually dedicating parts of your team and work and effort to building out a product. We are a co-creation shop. Our goal is to build out new products and services and put them in market with either proofs of concept or scaled products, like real demonstration projects and experiments. And to do that, we need every bit of the people that I mentioned earlier, right? Carriers, reinsurers, brokers, etc.
Yeah, and it's a huge event. Enormous. What's the most interesting thing you've learned while you've been here?
This is my third ITC, and each one is the largest event I've been to. And I'm a pretty aggressive extrovert, and I still find it overwhelming. That's a lot of people. I do feel like the dip that people may have found in November, December, where there was a little bit of a funding dip, the world didn't feel as frothy as before, seems to, in my mind, have gone away again. It seems like there's a lot of interest in the insurtech space. I'm also glad to see a few of the larger incumbent carriers and other players show up again, whether that be because of COVID travel restrictions over the past few years, or them just not taking sort of insurtech and innovation as seriously as they need to. They're back now, and I think that's great. And I wish them sort of all the success, and we hope to help them get there.
Has anything surprised or shocked you so far in this journey today?
No, actually. I feel it's a boring answer. It's all everybody here are people that I've known for the past few years, and I love that, right? So I'm here partially to see a bunch of friends that I've seen. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I've met on Zoom over the past 3 years and never met in person. And I love that about it. I think it's a really optimistic event, and that sort of matches my ethos. I love it. Clearly, some of the actual exhibits and displays, some of them are pretty big, right? People are putting real money into getting their name and brand out there because they recognize the opportunity of revolutionizing the insurance space. I might be focused on the climate space right now, but there are a ton of different areas where the revolutionizing the insurance space is needed and happening.
Yeah. Well, listen, hey, thanks for stopping by. Looking forward to the climate event. What's the best way for people to reach out and learn more about the program?
Yeah, sure. So reach out directly to me at chris@insure.org. That's INNSURE.org.
Thanks. So, who are you and what do you do?
So my name's Matt Connolly. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Sonar. And what Sonar does is we position ourselves as a market intelligence partner. And what that really means is we help working with insurers and reinsurers, we help them scout for new opportunities to advance their business. So we track millions of companies, startups and scale-ups around the world across all industries, but we solely work with insurance companies to help them identify how markets are changing and who are the companies that they should connect with in those markets.
And where's home?
So home is, for me, it's in Bristol in England. But into the last couple of years over COVID, our team has accelerated its growth inordinately, and we now have team members all over the world, and we seemingly don't have offices now either. So home's London, I guess.
Yeah, we had a great run today.
Yeah, we did. That was good fun. So what was that? 7:15 this morning, out in Las Vegas, down the strip, past the airport, and off we went. So yeah, it's nice. But that's kind of the insurtech community, isn't it? We're getting all together.
Yeah, well, it is, and you just tell me again, like how you're working with your team remotely, and how you're using these events to build a culture, drive your business.
Yeah, so it's one of the things we talked about on the run, right? So it's so now we don't have offices, but we have team members all over the world. So what we're doing is working with ITC. So we're their market intelligence partner, right? So around the world, we're going to their events. So whether it's meeting up in Singapore, it's in London, or here in Vegas, and it's allowing us all as team members to come together. And we just spend a few days. So either side of the event, we just get together. We do some strategy stuff. On Friday, we're going to go out into the desert, hopefully go by helicopter rather than Uber, and just have some fun as well. So we're just doing some team bonding stuff because it's important that we all get together as well, right?
Yeah, I guess. A lot of people here, 10,000 people. What's the biggest surprise you've encountered, or most interesting thing you've learned here in the last couple of days?
So I think there's still a sense of people coming back together, which I'm loving, and I think most of us have managed to become global players overnight because suddenly boundaries don't exist in the way they used to. We're all working from home. It's just purely time difference that's challenging us. And so actually for us, it's meeting with the clients, it's meeting with those friends, right? I mean, so I believe you may have, so we haven't made this connection yet, but I think you've been a judge on some of the publications that we've done in the past. So we've run these, we published the InsurTech 100, did the Future 50 series, and earlier this morning I was like, I know your name, but I haven't met you, right? But I think it's that kind of stuff. And then I see you around the speaker circuit, and it's like, and we're there out on a run together. And so for me, it's just building bridges, building connections. It's the value of this face-to-face. Even though Zoom's made life a lot easier and allowed our business to scale much more quickly, it's bringing this together. And 10,000 people. I mean, it's kind of organized chaos, but it's a beautiful thing. So we meet a lot of people. Our stand. So we've got a booth here. So we're promoting Sonar through that. And I got home thinking, so we've got an Airbnb, so when I'm calling home, I got home last night thinking we've had a good day, only to find my team members thinking like, I think we might have 15 to 20 more clients. And that's crazy, right? That's kind of how many clients we have, full stop. So can we in a day double our business? Maybe. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and regarding clients, next 20 beyond this 20, who's an ideal client for you?
So we're already working with, so in the European market, it's a big base for us, being European head office originally, and now we're more spread around the world. So we work with the Alliances and the Munich Re's and the Generali's, and we have amazing global relationships with those guys. We then grew our business out in Asia, so working with the Tokyo Marine crew is a great example, again globally, but from head office in Japan. What's happened recently, we have one big competitor in the market. And what we're seeing, and they're very dominant in the US because that's where their head office, so we've kind of ignored the US market to date. Just building and validating our business, getting our products right. And what we're finding is we've now got a load of clients from North America jumping over to our platform, and suddenly we're now working with RGAX. We're soon to be working with another big insurer in the US, which we're signing off this weekend, which is kind of fun. And so actually, suddenly the North American market is open for us. So whether it's a insurance company, it's a reinsurance company, the opportunities are there for us. And so the US market is suddenly now available. We have the best products on a global basis. So for us, any big global insurance or reinsurance company, any big insurance or reinsurance company looking at global innovation, how to scout opportunities, to bring them back to move the lever between A and B is of interest for us.
Hey, well, thanks so much. And what's the best way for people to reach out to you or your company?
So we have sonar.global is our website, so sonr.global. Equally, I write a newsletter called SoNews, which goes out to like 40,000 people every other Friday. So subscribe to that, maybe keep in touch. But otherwise, Matt Connolly on LinkedIn, CONNOLLY, you'll find me.
Excellent. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks.
Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Alex Martin. I'm the CEO of ClearSpeed.
And what does ClearSpeed do?
ClearSpeed uses voice analytics for risk detection. So what ClearSpeed does is uses automated questionnaires, all driven by voice, to clear and fast track people in both security applications and also in the insurance space for claims.
Okay, so does this tell me whether the person is telling the truth or maybe exaggerating the claim?
No, we're not going to tell you about truth. We're not doing lie detection. But what it's going to tell you is where the low risk of fraud is, meaning who you can fast track. So this tech was born in the military, in the Department of Defense, came from the need of us needing a metal detector, like in the airport. So using voice to clear people in languages without bias, right? Agnostic to tribe and culture, gender, race, etc. So we created that thing to be able to fast track and clear. The alert is not saying that person is lying, committing security fraud. It's saying have a follow-up. There's an anomaly, and we hope you can mitigate that anomaly, but it's about resource allocation. So from that, and they're now customers in the military, but from that conception, we said, hey, wouldn't it be neat if this application from the claim side, the ability to use voice to clear people very quickly, and the alert is not to say they're committing fraud, it's just to say, hey, maybe you need to submit in some extra paperwork, go through a little bit more of a process, and in that way you're getting fast-tracked and cleared.
So do I have to tell you like my 10-minute life story for the alarm bells to go off?
No, it's simple, short yes or no responses. This process takes a couple minutes. We're looking at those yes or no responses for the absence of characteristics associated with risk. When we get that reading, we clear them in, this is happening in minutes.
Tell me about the client. Can you tell me about experience with clients in the industry so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, this was a overnight success, 6 years in the making. It took a long time to get this tech right. Design it, build it, test it, and validate it, and we did. So our customers started out in the world in security, and that's where a lot of our love and passion is, to help people do their job overseas, etc. That said, here in the US on the insurance side, in the UK, we've seen incredible growth over in the UK in particular, and now here in the US with demonstrating the tech's effectiveness.
Now, who's an ideal customer? If you could get one more customer here in the next couple months, who would that be?
Yeah. So insurance carriers, third-party administrators, anyone dealing with claims that wants to fast track and automate their processes, go through that one step of their digital transformation, we want to be a part of that.
And huge conference, 10,000 people. I was here for the first one, and there were maybe 800, and we thought, wow, this is going to be huge. We had no idea, I think, people who were at that first one, how big this would get. What have you learned here in the last couple of days, or what surprised you the most?
Two things surprised me. Number one is the hunger and enthusiasm to innovate. I mean, we've seen a lot of different markets, we talked to a lot of different customers in a lot of different spaces, but in the insurance space, you see a real appetite and imperative and enthusiasm for innovation. People are here to learn, to grow, to try, to test, to be creative and collaborative. The second big learning for me was the insurtechs. The collaboration between and among us. We have to provide a holistic, data-driven solution that serves the insurers to best serve the customers. And so I found it amazing that the collaboration amongst us to say, hey, how can we use your thing plus my thing to provide a better thing and present them with a single solution as opposed to all these different point solutions, which might be frustrating and take them a lot of time to test and integrate. So we need to do a better job on the insurtech side of providing a united front to create a solution that works best.
Yeah, community is everything, especially when you're trying to drive change in an industry as big as this. So tell me, what's the best way for people to find you or talk to you or learn more about your company?
Absolutely, so head to clearspeed.com, check us out in there. You can go into the website there, have an inquiry. We'll be launching a new website in the next month, but until then, you'll be able to reach us there.
Terrific, thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend us on iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more great information about this company and other great startups at imagine.nfg.com.